And we are live here with Dr. Ben. We are halfway through the January, also known as the month of broken promises. So it's a good time to check in with Dr. Ben and see what's going on. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. Ben, how are you?
I'm good. I've missed you. I've
Oh.
missed you and mostly you. But,
That's good that you can't say that without laughing, Ben. That's really good. I enjoy that.
So things have been very busy. Wanted to talk to your audience today about, January is the season of weight loss promises, changing your diet, changing your exercise habits, all of those types of things. And we've been doing a lot of videos on our YouTube channel this particular last 4 to 6 weeks on that exact topic, fat loss tips, different ways to do it. But it always comes back to this one statement that I think anybody who's looking to lose weight or decrease their amount of body fat, this is the most important aspect of when you're trying to do that. And this is kind of like my cardinal rule, where if someone isn't going to follow this rule, I won't work with them as far as helping them on that weight loss, fat loss journey. Okay. And that rule is that if we are going to implement things to help someone lose weight and lose fat, they have to be something that's sustainable for a lifetime. And it also has to be something that is healthy for them as well. So that's kind of like my rule in one sentence. It's like, or is that 2 sentences? It might be two sentences.
But right. Double dipping, but that's okay.
It could still be 1 sentence.
Right.
But, so those are the 2 primary things. And I think people lose focus on, I'm going to make this change, and it's 100% not sustainable, and that's worthless, because as soon as you stop doing the behavior that you can't sustain, all the things are going to come back, that you've lost, so, or there are many different types of weight loss strategies that are unhealthy. They're really bad for you. And, I can't support anything of that nature, so we did our most recent YouTube video that just came out yesterday, which is doing really, really well, actually. 12 tips in under 10 minutes for how to lose weight and fat in a sustainable, healthy fashion for a lifetime. Okay. And it's interesting, that those strategies do exist, and there's many of them that just make you more healthy, so yeah.
Well,
so that's my topic for today. What do you think about that, Jack?
Well, right away, I have some questions. I think it's really wise. Nobody wants to hear that. First of all, nobody wants to hear that that it has to be sustainable. And the other thing is, people. It's amazing to me, people who know better. I mean, I talked to people who are in my classes. We were in the class this morning, and someone said, I know I shouldn't have done it, but last weekend I had a glass of wine and I was on Facebook and something came for how to shred in 4 weeks. So I signed up for it and paid something.
Yep.
I didn't say anything because we're all human. We're all weak at some moments, but it can't be true. The old rule is so true. If it sounds too good to be true, it not probably is. It definitely is. I mean, that's just the way it is. But you make me ask, me, every time you say something, Ben, I have 2 questions to bog you down. So my first question is, when you say sustainable for a lifetime, so you got to keep this up, because if your goal is to lose 7 pounds and you lose 8 pounds in 3 months or whatever it is, but then you stop doing the things that got you to that point. But what if someone says to you, Ben, all right, I lost my 8 pounds. If I keep doing this, I'm going to keep losing weight. I don't want to keep losing weight. So why should I keep this up? What do you say to that?
I mean, first of all, the body is a very miraculous thing. I mean, it really can self-regulate. So it usually gets you down to a good set point of what is a natural healthy weight for you, whatever that might be for the individual. And the body will kind of put the brakes on continued weight loss,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and again, the habits that I typically kind of really push on my customers and my clients and patients are habits that, and this is the interesting aspect of it, the habits that create safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss are also mostly the habits and tips I'll give for somebody who wants to create great, robust health in their life as well. So it's like, you don't really have to worry about stopping any of this stuff, because your body will kind of auto-regulate and kind of put the brakes on when you get to a good weight, and then the coolest part is if you sustain the habits, they're the same habits that help prevent heart disease, the same habits that reduce your risk of cancer. They're the same habits that help you not get diabetes. They're the same habits that may be neuroprotective so you don't get Alzheimer's and different other neurodegenerative diseases as you age, So it's really it's been fascinating to me as I have really jumped down the rabbit hole of nutrition over the last 10 years of, reading everything I get my hands on it. I kind of realized it's kind of the same approach for all of those things, eat an anti-inflammatory diet, eat a lot of plants, there's a lot of things that it's the same no matter what you're trying to do, whether it is trying to move from obesity down to being at a normal weight, it's the same approach many times. And of course there's individual differences person to person and what you might have to tweak a little bit in a dietary format for somebody. But in general, there are a lot of things that hold true for what I would say to be the majority of the population.
That's very true. And I was reading something else unrelated to health yesterday, but it is related. And that's James Clear. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He wrote the New York Times bestseller, Atomic Habits. It's like
number one. I love that book. Yeah.
Okay. So you know him. And he has a weekly newsletter that I highly recommend because on Thursdays, do you get it by any chance? I don't know if you do.
I don't. I'll have to.
Okay. The reason I recommend it, it's 5 minutes or less to read it. And his thing is more knowledge per time spent than any other newsletter on the web. That's his claim to fame. Whether it's true, it's got to be close to. But he was talking about. So I used him because someone else was talking about habits and how long being consistent. It started with a consistent lifestyle. So I took consistent. Okay, then if something's consistent, it's discipline, it's habits. So I went and looked up some of his material on the web that was, how long does something take to become a habit? And he cited a study that was done, I'm not sure when, within the last 10 years, I believe, scientific, that it came out to, for something to become a habit, the average is 66 days. It goes something like, I think it's like anywhere from, the range was 29 to 129 days, but the average was 66 days.
Yep.
And I thought about that. And once you do something, because I've done some habits, and then if I miss a day or two, you go, oh, it's the end of the world. It's not. The other thing that study showed was that you can miss a day, don't feel bad. You can just pick it up. It's not going to kill you. And I believe that's true for what you would say for a sustainable lifestyle as well. True?
100%. That is one of the things that I think is one of the most powerful concepts somebody can understand when it comes to health or even just how you live your life, is that these individuals that we see who are very fit or maybe they have it all together and they're really doing a lot of positive things in their life. In my mind, it's not that they're a person of incredibly strong willpower. That's not what it is. I think a lot of people are like, well, they just got really strong willpower. They're able to resist this or resist that. Those are typically people of powerful habits. They have a set of very powerful habits that they've developed over time that continue to pay dividends for them where they don't even have to think about it. It just happens, And a habit might be something like, when I wake up in the morning, I exercise for 30 to 45 minutes and I do it not every day. Like you're saying, you can miss some days, but you do that for a while and it's just what you do, and you don't have to think about it. It's not hard anymore, or if a habit was to drink a full glass of water before having a meal, which is one of my healthy fat loss tips, because there's substantial evidence that suggests that has a really positive effect on our metabolism and helps people to lose weight. Super easy to do, super good for you, right? Once you start to do that for a while, and it might take 2 months to establish that, but then it's just a habit. You're reaching for that glass of water right before you have the meal, you drink that down, and then you have your meal, So I think that you couldn't be more right about that stuff. And, when you look at habits, the one thing I always tell people is don't try to do more than 1 or 2 in any 2-month period of time that it takes to establish one, or even just focus on the most important one that you think is going to really help you, which for most people, if you aren't exercising, that is the lowest hanging fruit. That is the most powerful health habit you can have to live a longer, healthier life. It kicks nutrition's butt. It kicks any kind of Ozempic drug. It is the number one thing. There is, it is unrefuted in the research that exercise has a massive health promoting effect if it's done right. So that would be the first one I would pick if I was someone who was like, hey, I want to start my weight loss journey or my journey to getting into better health. I would start to become somebody that exercises habitually, with a good solid bit of some cardiovascular and some strength training in that mix. And that's where professionals like myself and my team come in. If you need help establishing that type of program, or you want to develop something that you can do at your house, or you want us to put something on an app, we have an app where we can design workouts for people, where they do them when they're snowbirding in Florida, or they do them in their house, they do them at their gym, or they do them at our gym. That's a great first step and one of the best possible habits if you're not doing it already.
I'm I love it. It makes me feel good. If I don't do it, I'm ornery. It makes a difference in my day big time. And the thing is too, just because, so exercising is part of my habits, but I talked to Jeremiah and I told him one of my goals was to do pull-ups. I've never been able to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
And I just never have. And lately it's because I have like a sore shoulder, but that's only part of it, But what was good was that Jeremiah said to me, well, you can do this. And he gave me some shoulder moves to do. And then he said, but as Jeremiah says very bluntly, he says, if you want to do pull-ups, best way to do it, got to lose weight.
Yeah.
He goes, you're
less weight to pull up, right?
That's right. That's right. He said, he goes, you're fit, but you got a lot of weight to pull up. So I'm like, something in the back of your head, way back here. I keep pushing it farther back, but still. So I've been, and Margot's in great shape, but she also wants to lose some weight. So just because you're in great shape doesn't mean you have the journey's over either. It's always like, what's next? What do I do next? So we've been working on it, and it's slow. And it's like you said, you can't try it. It's not going to go fast. You've got to chisel away at it, and you have to be consistent at it.
And the thing of it is just like we're talking about establishing healthful habits for fat loss and weight loss for a lifetime. Exercise is the type of habit you don't ever want to stop. It gets more important the older you get to do strength training, to do cardiovascular training, to do different things that help with your mobility and your balance. Those things become exponentially more important in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and hopefully your 90s. And if you aren't doing something in those decades, you're going to run into significant problems, and your life will end much earlier than it should, and you're going to have a much shorter health span, if you're not doing those habits. So exercise is another one where it's essential that you establish that as a long-term thing that is just part of your life,
Because I think long life is for the birds if you're not in this kind of shape that you can enjoy it. I mean, if you can't move, if everything hurts, it sucks.
Someone said something I read in a book the other day, and I've never heard anyone say this before, because back when I was younger, and I've always been super into exercise, so it's not been hard for me to be someone who's exercised his entire life. But someone had said, well, you're spending so much time exercising. Any extra time you're going to get of life, you probably use that up by exercising. It's like if you gain another 5 years of life, you've been exercising for 5 years. If you add it up over the time that you. So it was talking about it in that kind of vein of conversation, and that was really out there a lot, even in the media or magazines, like these exercise nuts, like blah blah blah. But someone made the statement in a book. It was actually Peter Attia's book called Outlive, which is a book on longevity that I highly recommend. But he made the statement, I thought it was so interesting. The research on how much better your life is going to be, meaning less disease, better mobility, ability to keep doing the things that you like to do, like hiking or skiing, whatever it might be, or playing pickleball. Your health span, meaning your ability to do different things without getting sick over time, and your play span, meaning your ability to do all the things that are fun, is increased so significantly with exercise. It might be worth taking a 1 year decrease in lifespan to get all the benefits and health span and play span you're going to get from exercise. And I've never heard anyone say that, because obviously exercise does all three. It extends your lifespan, your health span, and your play span. All three of those things get improved. But this guy was making the point that it's so powerful at making the life that you do have better. It'd be almost worth taking a cut on the back end of life.
I'm all over that. I mean, I've seen, my parents are at an age, or my dad passed away. My mom's at an age where life gets tougher, and once you get to that point, all the years that you've had adds up to what you are now. And when you get older, when you get to a certain age, you're just going to be old. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. But I was in class this morning, and MJ had a class, which she does really well. And today she had it set up. We did the workouts, and then she saved the last 15 minutes for led us through like a mini yoga thing. Very simple, basic stretches.
Yep.
And I was next to this guy. I judge him to probably be about 20 years younger than me, and we're stretching, and he's in good shape. You look at him and say, that kid's in good shape. I call him a kid. He's in his 40s probably.
Yeah.
I say, that kid's in good shape. And he said, I was having him in my mat. He said, oh, I'm just so inflexible, as we're going through this stuff. And I thought, and I'm going to say it to him on Monday, I thought, because I let it sink in a little bit, I was like, start doing this on a regular basis, because it's never too late to start. It's still going to make you better. I didn't start yoga when I was in my 40s. I wish I would have, because I'd be more flexible now than I am. However, I started it 10 years ago, and I'm really glad that I did, because I can tell just from where I'm more flexible now than I was 10 years ago. So it's never too late to start. You can have an impact on the rest of your life, whatever that is, to do it. I mean, it's just crazy. All these new things, and it's fun. The new things make it fun. It's not overwhelming. It's fun. Oh, we can do that. Try that.
No, so, it is. It's wonderful. And the way you feel the rest of your day, I love starting the day with exercise, because I feel like it just sets the whole day up for success. Like I've already done my.
Whoop. Lost you for a second there. Ben, I lost your audio. You went off for a second, came back, and now your audio's not on. Okay, there. Try again now. Don't hear a thing. Why don't you reconnect? Why don't you log in and log out quick, and I'll pause. Ben's coming back. He was getting into whatever he was saying. We got to hear it. He'll be right back. Having an excellent talk about life and stretching, and not stretching, all the things you can do to, I like how Ben says not a lifespan, but health span is an excellent term, because I think it fits so well. It just makes a lot of sense. So he will be back with us until, do you want me to sing? No, you don't want me to sing. Here he is. All right, Ben, you're back.
I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I have to make sure to turn my phone off, because anytime I get a call, it kicks me out.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, I just wanted to wrap up and basically just say, if you want any of that kind of information on some of the strategies that I think are really healthful and sustainable for weight loss or fat loss for this New Year's, maybe someone in your audience has had a start and they've had a failure already, or maybe they're following some of the ridiculous nutrition advice out there, like cutting out entire macronutrient groups, or eating only grapefruits, or taking strange medicines that are actually dangerous, or strange supplements. These are 12 really great tips that are only going to make you more healthy, and it's on our most recent YouTube episode that just came out yesterday. So
Form and Fitness is the YouTube channel.
Yep. If you type in YouTube Form and Fitness, it'd be the first video that pops up when you go to our channel. And it's a good one. It actually, I didn't know it would turn out okay, but it turned out really good. It's just rapid fire. Can we get you 12 tips in 10 minutes? And then if you're looking for weight loss, I would recommend starting with one of them. Just implement one tip for 4 to 6 weeks, 2 months, until you got it solid. Then go back to the video, pick another one, then implement that tip 4 to 6, 8 weeks until you got that one solid. And it's a great way to actually change your life in a way that's actually going to work and be sustainable.
Yeah, and it's realistic. One last thing, I know you got to head out, Ben, but my father-in-law put it really well once. He said, you didn't get this way in 4 weeks. It's not gonna change in 4 weeks. You've got to, you got to this way over a lifetime. Now you just got to kind of reverse the process. And I thought that was an excellent way of looking at it, because you didn't get 20 pounds overweight in 4 weeks. You're not going to lose 20 pounds in 4 weeks and keep it off. So it's a good one.
Totally.
All right. A great way to think of things. It's form, and it's AND is how you have to spell it out. So formandfitness.com. cheeseburger.com. Ben and Jeremiah do a great job of the videos. Sometimes I know Rock sticks his big face in there sometimes because he
He's
can't
going to be
help
doing some
himself.
solo videos this year. I'm a little scared. He says he's scheduled for one solo video when he gets to pick the topic. I said it has to be on exercise, not all about your butt. Let's get something else into the mix here. So
I gotta put in a plug for Rock. I put it in the box the other day because on the Saturday, I don't know if you recall, last Saturday was the day after that big snowstorm, and people are still digging out. Not only did he make it for the Saturday morning leading, he comes and he brings it. It's not like I'm not happy to be here. I mean, he comes with he's just a great trainer.
We have the best team of people at Form Fitness that we've ever had. We have about 32 coaches on staff between the two locations, and they're all phenomenal. I never hear any of the scary stories that I hear when I not to bash any other facilities, but even this morning when I was at a Rec One facility talking to a couple of customers, one person was talking about the massage therapist that was pushing down onto his head so hard, telling him to release damn it, tension, release it. He's cranking down on this person's neck and ends up injuring the client's neck, and it's like, who are these people that do that stuff? So as your listeners kind of like start their wellness journey, or if they're in a wellness journey, always make sure to try to pick credible sources, because exercise is a very powerful modality, and it can harm and it can help. So you really want to do help, not harm.
Right. And I think to do that, do it like you do any other major investment in your life. Shop around, try them out, try different places out. You'll get to the right place for you. And I really highly recommend Form Fitness. So thanks a lot, Ben. As usual, you're full of good stuff. I got a whole bunch of questions I want to ask you about the coming weeks. Prebiotics, Margot's talking about. I don't have any idea what that is. Oh, but I have to ask you one last thing. National Popcorn Day. Where are you on popcorn? Some people think it's a healthy snack. Some people go, What do you think, popcorn?
I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than a potato chip. If you don't put too much crap on it. There's some recipes for really healthful seasonings you can put on popcorn. But in a pinch, if you really like popcorn, you can certainly prepare it in a way that I think is a lot more healthy than eating a bag of pretzels or chips or cookies.
Okay.
So.
Cool. So enjoy popcorn, National Popcorn Day. Ben says, do it right, but do it
right.
Go ahead and do it
right. Not a bunch of fake butter on there. I don't like
cool. That. Ugh. All right. Ben, I'm going to end the stream, but can you hang on just for 1 second?
Sure.
After we hang up. So, all right. Well, have a great week, everybody. You got your tips. Go to formandfitness.com. Go to Form and Fitness on YouTube. See Ben and Jeremiah and gang doing some helpful things and fun. They're not dry. They're not dry as a potato chip. They're fun. All right. So cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for paying attention. And hopefully Bulldog will be back next week. See ya.
Bye-bye.